Welcome to this episode of Ask the Experts. I'm Dave Withrow, publisher of American Bagger, Urban Bagger, American Cycle magazines. With me is Jason Mook, our tech editor for all three Maverick titles. Today we got a question from Walton Lodi. He wants a new exhaust for his Bagger. He wants it to sound better, perform better, and he wants to know, and this is a great question, what's the difference between slip-ons, true duals, 2-into-1, and a header pipe? He says it gets a little confusing when you're not a mechanic.
Well, he's not the only one. It's a little overwhelmed by that. My common phrase is exhaust boils down to three things: looks, sound, and performance. That's where you start. And we all know, because of the sound of our V-twin motorcycles, that exhaust is important. It's an important choice.
Usually it's one of the first things the guy changes is a new exhaust.
And on that note, obviously, we always recommend a package deal where you don't just install just exhaust. You want to do an air cleaner, you want to do some kind of fuel management change to compensate for the other changes you made to the motor.
So let's start with slip-ons.
Slip-ons are good because they're cost effective and less money than a full exhaust system. You can use them with your stock head pipes. You're going to get the sound you want, and honestly, my experience seen before is that you can just do a set of slip-ons. The stock O2 sensors are actually going to be able to compensate and make changes for adding those slip-ons. But it's a trade-off. You might get the sound you want, you might be within your budget, but you're not going to get the power gains that you might.
So you should gain something, but not the full
Correct.
10-12% that you were hoping for.
We still have that catalytic converter in the head pipes on the newer bikes.
So that kind of, you were leading in already to the head pipe. So head pipe changing it is important for a guy who really wants performance because of that catalytic converter.
Absolutely. And also we've seen, with a lot of head pipes out there, we can redirect the heat from the exhaust system away from the rider, away from the passenger with a better configuration, especially like on the 08 and earlier bikes where you have that crossover pipe.
Right.
And we know stock head pipes on 08 and earlier, they actually perform pretty well. But we've seen over time that the mounting system, the bracket, the crossover pipe will crack. And we've seen that multiple times in the past where that pipe leading over to the left side of the bike just cracks off.
So true duals to me are the most popular aftermarket bagger exhaust there is. You look at companies like Reinhardt who've got for 12, 13 years have been selling them like crazy, and Vance and Hines. What's the advantages of true duals?
Well, the advantage of true duals is free flowing, and if you get the right setup, you're going to have equal length head pipes, and you've got maximum airflow for the front and rear cylinder. Aesthetically, with baggers, people like to have the exhaust going out both sides. We saw in 2010 when they did the road glides and street glides with just a 2-into-1, nobody liked it. I mean, they immediately changed it after that. The Ultras still came with true duals, but those models in 2010 came with a 2-into-1, and quite honestly, it wasn't very popular. So,
well, which is funny because my favorite pipe has always been the 2-into-1.
Me too.
And I love it for the performance aspect, the low and the mid-range performance increases in your power band right where you need it. So let's talk a little bit about 2-into-1.
When it comes to performance, no question about it, the 2-into-1 is the way to go. And if you can live with the look of just having one pipe coming out the right side of the bike, well then it's a no-brainer. That's your choice. You get equal length head pipes stepped usually into a collector down to a single muffler, and that's going to give you the best performance gains compared to a set of true duals. It's a race-proven, race-inspired setup. One thing to think about now when we say all 2-into-1s, and let's be honest, now over the last couple of years we've seen a rise in the popularity of the 2-into-1s that drop out before the saddlebag, the
Right.
shorter ones. Now those, quite honestly, we don't get the same performance numbers we do out of a longer performance based 2-into-1 exhaust system that comes out past the saddlebag.
So that guy's getting the sound he wants, that guy's getting the look he wants, he's getting some performance, and I know we spent a lot of time dyno tuning those just to get them to be as efficient as possible.
Right. But something that you think about, I guess, in long term, if you're doing a bagger or if you're putting saddlebags on your Softail or your dyno or whatever, and you want that smooth back end, well, you're going to probably pick a pipe that dumps out, before the saddlebag starts.
Well, hopefully Walt from Lodi, California, that answered your question. If you're like Walt and you have a question that nobody seems to answer, then send us an email at letters@ambagger.com. And this episode of Ask the Experts was brought to us by our good friends at Bagger Nation. Paul Yaffe, one of the godfathers of the custom bagger scene. He's been building custom motorcycles for 25 plus years. And Paul isn't just a bagger guy. I mean, he'll build you anything. And the nice thing about Paul is his stuff is timeless. So baggernation.com.